Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a brand new Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare video. So, of course, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 is just a mere few days away. I cannot wait for it. It was a bunch of fun during the beta. I hope they balance and tweak a couple of things that I pointed out in those videos. But nonetheless, once again, we have a release of plenty of very, very cool Garden Warfare related merchandise, including some really cool figures once again. Now, I did reviews for some of these figures before. Well, not these figures, I should say. It was a different set of figures. This is just, I guess, kind of like collection 2 or series 2 of that particular lineup. So this time we're going to be taking a look at the Goalie Star, which is, of course, the hockey variation of the All-Star class, and just the plain old regular Sunflower. Now, this was sent to me by the lovely folks at Diamond Collectibles, and they make a whole bunch of awesome figurines, including the Marvel Select figures, which I oftentimes get. The like, for example, the last one that I got was Abomination. Very cool figure. So, nonetheless, over the next 4 days here, because I got 4 different set of figures, I'll be making videos for that, so you guys could go ahead and check that out, and I hope that you guys will enjoy it. So, with that in mind, let's flip the package on over, because that will give us a bit of a cool idea of what we're going to be taking a look at, or Diamond Select Toys, not Diamond Collectibles. I don't know why I said Diamond Collectibles. You should visit diamondselecttoys.com for more details, I guess. So, nonetheless, we have the figurines right here, including the Goalie Star versus Sunflower. So that's the one we're looking at today. Tomorrow we'll look at the Marine Biologist Zombie versus Toxic Pete. I love that accessory. That looks really funny. I'm sure that PETA wouldn't be happy about that, but the zombies utilize, I guess, dolphins as weapons. We also have the Welder Zombie and accessory pack number 2. So that looks kind of interesting in terms of the accessory packs consistency itself. And then, interestingly enough, we have the Toxic Chomper along with accessory pack number 1. So over the next 4 days, we'll look at all 4 sets. And with that in mind, let me go ahead and open up this first one, and let's take a look at the goodies inside. Alrighty, guys, so here is, of course, our Goalie Star as well as the regular Sunflower out of package. So we'll look at the Goalie Star itself in just a moment because he has an accessory, and we can begin with the Sunflower because there's really much less to talk about with the Sunflower than the Zombie. So first of all, the size of the figurine is about just a little bit under 3.5 inches or so. So if you're wondering, like, are these minifigs or are these like full-fledged 6-inch figures, they're kind of like in between that scale, you know, where you're talking about anywhere from figurines being about 2.5 inches all the way up to probably 5.5 or so. So kind of a very varied scale for the line, which is pretty cool actually. So I do like that quite a bit. So as far as the details on the Sunflower go, I think they did a really good job overall nailing the colors on it. I think it's very vibrant. Like, I love how it's not just a flat color of yellow for all the petals and then just pretty much just the face of the flower. They went ahead and added the orange and the darker orange and kind of almost like a peach color to create a more believable look for the Sunflower. So I do like that quite a bit. The back of the Sunflower actually does look a lot better than it used to. The previous Sunflower that they released, which was I think that was the Shadow Flower. Yeah, it was the Shadow Flower, wasn't it? And that one was good and all, but it didn't have nearly as much paint applications as this one does. So that is very cool to see, and I do like that quite a bit. And you will also notice that there is, of course, an articulation point on the Sunflower, so you could go ahead and actually pose it in a couple of different poses. There's a ball joint there that allows you to move the face and the head, I guess, whichever way you see fit, within reason, of course. So the range is decent. It actually is pretty good, so I do like that quite a bit. And it's a solid joint, so it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart or anything. Nothing else on it moves. It is made out of soft plastic, so obviously you could go ahead and actually, like, these parts are malleable, but they don't particularly have articulation. So that's the Sunflower there, looking very cool indeed. So now let us go ahead and discuss the one and only Goalie Star itself. So the Goalie Star comes in at about 4 3/4 inches tall, so one of the largest of characters in the entire line. And by the way, I never realized how the helmet, the mask and everything kind of looks like Jason Voorhees and everything, which is pretty terrifying and kind of cool. Ooh, okay. For a moment there, I thought the mask comes off or something because it looked like it was going to come off, but it does not come off. As you can see, it does say the All-Star on the back with the 98 number. I love how he comes with the glove there, which is very cool. Decent paint job on that. I kind of wish, though, I will say, I kind of wish that this was sculpted in instead of just being painted on, because it does look very flat and it doesn't have any kind of pop to it. So I wish that that was actually sculpted in and then painted. Same thing goes with the shin guard here and also the little guard on the side, because if that was sculpted in, it would have brought a lot of really, really cool details to the figure that I would have loved to see. Now, he does come along with, of course, his blaster here, which actually, interestingly enough, comes with a stand. I think the reason why they did that is because if you have him holding it just regularly, all right, let's see if we can get that done. He can, in some poses, you can get him to hold it just fine, like this, for example, and he's not going to topple over or anything. So you can do it without actually having the stand, but I think the stand just makes it look a little bit more natural and look a bit better. So you just put the stand into the blaster there, and then it holds in place much better. And of course, this is the thing that fires off all those pucks, which are stored right there. So I have to say that the weapon got some very, very cool details throughout. Like, I love the little frozen components all throughout in this little cooling unit or right here. They just did a really, really good job of nailing that and making it look really, really polished and nice and very, very, very high quality. So that was super uber duper cool. Now, I forgot to mention the articulation on the goalie star here. So he does have some articulation in terms of the head does rotate round and round. You can probably force it around all the way. I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't recommend doing it, especially because the bottom chin part of the mask bumps against his shoulder pads. So I wouldn't risk doing that, but you get a pretty decent amount of range to have some very, very cool expressions as it is. So that's really, really cool. The wrist right here does rotate, no other articulation in the shoulder. And then right up here in the bicep, there's an interesting connection because it's essentially kind of like a swiveled ball joint type thing where you can move it sideways and around, but also it can move inwards and outwards. So that's kind of cool, almost acting as a kind of a lower shoulder joint. No articulation in the elbows, unfortunately, and the wrist here does rotate, so that's pretty cool. Everything else on the figure, oh, wait a minute, he does have waist joint. Oh, okay, well, maybe that just came loose, finally. I didn't even realize that, but he does have a waist joint, which is pretty cool, so that does move around, and his legs are stationary, which I understand why that is, because you obviously want to make sure that he is nice and flat on those skates so that he's not toppling over or falling over every which way. So there you guys have it. That concludes the review for, of course, the goalie star and the Sunflower 2-pack. Overall, I think that it is a pretty awesome package and is a pretty cool collection of characters. Once again, I just love that they're adding to the variety of characters in Garden Warfare. There's so many classes. Now, what I will say that is kind of interesting is that this is still Garden Warfare characters. This is not Garden Warfare 2 characters. I would love for them to release a Citron or maybe a Rose. They could also do, of course, all the new zombies as well, like Captain Deadbeard. And there's a plenty of new characters that they can mine from and release. So I would love to see some of the variations that are out there. Plus, the coolest thing is that I didn't even know that they came out with a deluxe Yeti figure. Look at that thing. This is so cool looking. So, man, I'm going to have to keep my eyes open for that because that is just too cool. So, nonetheless, as always, of course, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. That will be highly appreciated. And I will catch you guys tomorrow with another Garden Warfare figure review. And we are getting ever so closer towards Garden Warfare 2. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you later, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.